Hey there everybody, this is Christopher Brower filling in for the TheTopher today with the all-new 2021 Honda Ridgeline. This one is a little bit special. We've got all of these HPD goodies on here. We've got these 18-inch wheels, fender flares, a special HPD grille. In fact, this whole truck has been redesigned from the A-pillars forward. We have a whole new look for 2021. I think it looks great. I think it looks a little bit more mean, a little tough, more like a truck now. We've also got some HPD badging back here. Nice little sticker. We've got a badge on the tailgate. Speaking of the tailgate, check out how this thing opens. We can open it like so, like a normal truck. Or we can open it this way. Pretty neat. But my favorite part is under here. You've got what I can assume is a cooler, because we have a drain right here for water. So if you do end up putting some drinks in here for your lake day or whatever, you can drain it right out there when you're done. Or if you're out here and you decide to go through that big puddle and it collects with water, you've got a drain for that purpose as well. Also new for 2021, we now have standard all-wheel drive. A big complaint about the Ridgeline that I heard from a lot of other people, really the main reason people hated on this truck, was that you could get it in front-wheel drive. But now it's proper standard all-wheel drive. Still starts around 37 grand, optioned out with all of the HPD stuff. This one's around 40. I think something that some people will be very excited about is we have a volume knob. We now have a volume knob on the radio, as opposed to those silly buttons that were on the touchscreen. So that's a great new feature for 2021. Let's take this Ridgeline for a drive and see how it goes. Our first little part here is going to be a little bit of off-roading, but that's okay. Let's see how this thing does. We do have a couple different drive modes. We have normal, snow, mud, and sand. Let's go for mud mode and see how that handles this terrain on the way out. So what that does is it reduces our stability control, turns off our traction control. Let's go right through this puddle here. Seems like it also holds gears for slightly longer. Do the James May, keep your thumbs on the outside of the steering wheel when you're off-roading. That's the only thing I know about off-roading. Okay, there we go. All right, well, there you go. Any sort of terrain that you're going to be going over with any truck, the Honda Ridgeline can do it. There we go. Let's put it back in normal mode. Take this thing out on the street. All right, so carrying over, we still have that nice 3.5 liter V6, 290 horsepower. This thing still tows 5,000 pounds, same as the previous all-wheel drive model, but that is now standard. So you now have a standard 5,000 pound towing rating, which is pretty awesome. The ride on this truck is sublime. It's unlike any other truck in its class because, of course, the Ridgeline is unibody, something that you don't get from a Ranger, a Colorado, a Sonoma. Well, it's not called the Sonoma anymore, it's the Canyon. Any of those trucks, those are all body on frame. So something special here with the Ridgeline, but it is kind of another reason this truck gets a little bit of hate. People don't call this a real truck, but I think that it is. I think it's a truck that can be used for many purposes. You can use it to haul your things. You can stick a motorcycle back there, haul 5,000 pounds, whatever you need to do, but it's also a super comfortable daily driver. No issues there at all. We have a 9-speed automatic, kind of an odd shifter. This is carried over. This isn't new for this year, but we have buttons for our shifter. It's nice you get a little bit more room down here, but other than that, I don't know really any perks of that. Sometimes button shifters are just a little bit overdone and kind of weird, but I think in this situation it works fine. We do also, of course, have Apple Carplay. It is not wireless. I've got my phone plugged in down there. And the screen is at a bit of a weird angle, and I've kind of found this with all new Hondas, that the screen is like pointed up or pointed in, kind of. It's at an angle like this, but it's something that you get used to. It's really not too big of a deal. It's just a little bit odd if you're not, used to Hondas. Standard infotainment, normal Honda. It's kind of laggy. As you can see, nothing's coming up. No idea what's supposed to be on that screen. Something. But if you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it's really something that you don't really need to worry about. So we're just going to go back over to our Apple CarPlay. We do also have a couple of driver aids. We have our radar guided cruise control as well as the road departure mitigation. So this thing will somewhat drive itself down the highway. We will test it out here in just a sec. We are merging on to the expressway here. This is a system that's not going to be similar to something you'd find in a Hyundai or a Kia. You just will have to hold on to the steering wheel the whole time. All it'll do, it'll just kind of ping you and let you know if you're going out of the lane to recenter yourself, give you a little nudge on the steering wheel to do so. But we don't quite have an advanced lane keep system yet in the Ridgeline. While we're on the highway here, let's test out this sound system. It's not a branded system. We still don't have that in the Ridgeline. We did have it though in the 2022 Civic. That had a Bose system, so let's hope that maybe Honda is going to start expanding those Bose systems to some of their other cars. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a sound system test here. Yeah, not too bad of a performance there. The sound system's a little bit hollow, a little bit bass heavy, but of course you can adjust that bass down in the settings as well as your subwoofer settings. I think it would be a really nice addition for Honda to start putting some branded audio systems in all of their vehicles. I don't think, ooh, yes. Not to distract myself there. Very quickly up to speed off that entrance ramp. This V6 is great. Almost 300 horsepower there. Sounds good. Yeah, all good things. In fact, it actually feels like probably the quickest truck in this segment that I've driven. Anyways, though, the sound system, I think it would really just be great if they put, Bose across the board. And I'm hoping, like I said, with that new Civic, it's starting a trend for Hondas, because that has always been a weak point in Hondas, has been the sound system. But this one's not too bad. You can adjust it to your liking. And especially in a truck like this, it's really not something that people are going to be, making or breaking their purchase over. With this just being the sport model, unfortunately we don't have a leather steering wheel. This is just sort of a rubber material. We do have paddle shifters back here you can change the gears with, which is nice. Even on this basic steering wheel, we do get the paddles. We also have contrast stitching on these cloth seats. That's new for 2021. Gives the interior a little more depth, a little more contrast. We, of course, have auto start stop as well if you want to shut that off. There's a button right there for it, nice and easy. I don't mind it though. I like to leave it on. I think in automatic cars, it's really no big deal. Also, thankfully, we still have all of our climate here on this panel. It's buttons. I hate when they put climate in the screen. We have nice little toggles here for our temperature as well as our fan, our mode. Everything's very straightforward, very easy to use. So kudos to Honda for leaving this as a standalone feature and not putting it in the screen like a lot of manufacturers are doing nowadays. Wind out that V6. What other truck has VTEC? That 9-speed automatic shifts super smooth as well. The whole drivetrain and ride in this Honda Ridgeline is really just unlike anything else in its class, and I think for that reason, this may be a truck that I would actually consider buying over a lot of the competition just because it's so easy to live with. This Ridgeline would be an excellent daily driver, very good multi-use vehicle. And hey, it's got a built-in cooler in the bed. How cool is that for going off and doing truck stuff? It'll still do all the truck stuff that other trucks do, but just more comfortably. And for that, we love the Honda Ridgeline. Right, and that is going to conclude our drive on the Ridgeline. You will all be back to your normal scheduled TheTopher programming later this week. I am still a Topher, I'm just not the Topher, so I hope that you enjoyed this drive on the HPD Ridgeline. Let's take one more look around the outside of this thing, because it does really look the part. Looks great also with some mud slung up on it there, nice and proper. I really love all of the HPD touches on this. I think it just makes it look great. How easy is it to get in and out of, you know? Oh yes. Yep, that's a roof. I hope you've enjoyed this Honda Ridgeline HPD Sport, because I know that I have. Little look in the back seat here. It's a little bit tight. Sit behind the driver's seat how I was driving. Yeah, you know, the rear legroom is really not the best. But we do have cup holders. Oh, and more cup holders. You've got 4 cup holders in the back seat. And you've got 4 in the front. So there you go. 8 cup holders. Good mark there for Honda. Cool. All right, well, thank you all for watching. This is Christopher Brower. This is a Topher, signing out for TheTopher. Thanks for watching.